Welcome back to Wake Up America Weekend. Should immigrants be denied a visa due to their bad health? The Trump administration issued a guidance with certain medical conditions, including diabetes as well as obesity, that may lead to the denial of U.S. visas for foreign applicants. To talk about this, let's welcome in our guest, journalist and New York Times bestselling author Ellis Henican, plus host of the Pursuit of Happiness radio show, KPRCA AM 950, co-host Walton and Johnson radio show, Kenny Webster. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning,
Thanks
guys.
for having me.
Ellis, I got to start with you. Should immigrants be denied visas due to certain medical conditions like obesity?
Oh, this has got to be a joke, right? I mean, of all the industrialized nations on earth, the United States is the most obese, right? Their immigrants will make our averages go down, TW. This is just another example of Stephen Miller and the people in the White House letting their hatred of foreigners overwhelm their intelligence. It's the exact same thing that's happening in the tech industry. The engine of the American economy, which is driven largely by immigrant founders and workers, and yet we're making it impossible for them to come here. It's just plain stupid if it's not a joke.
Well, Ellis, okay, Kenny, let's get your thoughts. What do you think about Ellis? I mean, he says this would drive down our weight average by allowing these foreigners in. What are your thoughts here? Please respond.
That's a cute thing to say, but it's anecdotal. There's no proof that that's true. Look, we added over $1 trillion in debt in less than 2 months. I'm talking about from August to October, the short period of time that we just had there. According to the CDC, we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars, something like hundreds of billions of dollars, $173 billion a year on obesity-related illnesses alone. Even if people aren't getting on Medicaid and Medicare when they're getting into the country, odds are they're going to need to have health insurance when they get here. They're getting into a group plan that's going to drive up costs for other people. And this is nothing new. We have limited people's access to the country because of health reasons for a long time, going back to 1917 when the Immigration Act first went into place.
Good point, Kenny. Well, Ellis, I mean, here's the deal, right? Medical conditions such as cardiovascular, respiratory disease, cancers, diabetes, metabolic, as well as neurological disorders, mental health, can require medical care that costs me, the taxpayer, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it seems to me the government's just trying to minimize the taxpayer's bill on providing for the care of foreigners. Why is that a bad thing, sir?
PW, are you serious? The problem is us, not them. We're the ones who are the problem. We got to stop eating so much. We got to.
I agree with that. So this shouldn't be a problem, then. If you think that there's not going to be a problem.
Listen, this is a perfect example of immigrants helping America. I know you guys don't want to acknowledge this, but we need immigrants. They bring us their labor, their intelligence, their tax dollars. They all pay tax dollars and without collecting Social Security in many cases. These people are helping us. Why do we want to drive them away? And hey, listen, if they'll bring our average obesity rate down, that's an added plus.
Well, I mean, okay, Kenny gets you here. Doesn't the government have a right, though, to pick who is left in, who we let in based on certain medical conditions? Doesn't the government have that right?
Of course. Suggesting that one group of people should be allowed into the country because another group of people already have a problem doesn't make any sense. If one person was on fire, you wouldn't say it's okay for more people that are on fire to enter the building. It's absurd. We don't let people into the country if they have tuberculosis or Ebola. You know, this is something that we've been doing for a long time. The average healthcare cost on the public system for an immigrant is somewhere between $9,500 and $15,000 per year. Whether my fellow panelists likes it or not, inflation is a real thing, and it's driven up by government spending. We have a finite amount of resources. This isn't about xenophobia. This is just basic economics.
Ellis, it sounds like I hear you saying we're too fat, we're too dumb. We got to have these immigrants to fix this. I mean, ultimately, don't you think here though that as Kenny brought up, the government has the right to deny people based on medical conditions. Why should obesity not be considered when we know the cost? 30 seconds to you both on that.
TW, we want the best, the greatest, the smartest, the hardest.
We are the best, the greatest, and the smartest.
The world.
We are.
Partly because we have opened our arms and brought people from around the world into this country, including, by the way, a lot of my ancestors, and maybe Kenny's too.
Yes. Well, mine as well.
Yes,
Kenny,
absolutely.
Let's get you in here. 30 seconds. What are your thoughts here?
Look, banning fat people from America sounds mean, but it's a way to keep the GDP lean. We keep the healthcare costs low. Importing skinny people might sound insensitive, but it's a way to keep deflation down. Obesity abroad, less deflation in the United States of America. It might sound mean, but look, we can't afford to provide health care to every obese person in the world.
Well,
It's gotta
as
be a joke.
As a
It's
former
gotta be a
fat
joke.
kid, I see the
joke.
rationale here. Ellis Hennigan,
We
Kenny
love you,
Webster, thank you
TW.
so much, gentlemen. You appreciate your
Hey,
insights.
good morning.
Thank you.
Have a good day, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.